Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. Now, it's not going to be Friday when I upload this or when you're watching it, but it's Friday right now. So, the weekend is basically here, and I am filming this video now. Guys, so the stuff at work finally came, the tripod and the mic, so that was trash. Um, I'm going to try them out later. It's pretty late right now. Uh, so yeah, that's what that was. It was disturbing me. So I'm Naya, and this is Naya's Two Cents. So before we jump into the budget, exciting things. A lot can happen in a week, and so just a quick update on some of the goals for March. Let's throw them back up there. So I was able to pay off that debt this week. Confetti, and I've also read 2 books since the last video I filmed, which I think was a week ago. So I have one more to hit my goal for March, but I hit my first reading milestone for the year, which is 5. So I can cross off or bubble in another circle on my bingo card. And it's really exciting. So this is the blank bingo card. I don't think I've actually ever shared it. This is what it was blank. And this is what it is now as of today, the 14th of March. Progress. Look at that. And I think as of Saturday, I'm going out with some people for the first time. So as of Saturday, if that actually happens, an entire row I think will be finished, and that's super exciting. So I can treat myself to the first, I don't know, like reward, gift, I don't know what to call it. I don't remember what it was either, so that's also exciting. So when I go in and fill in the bubbles, I'll throw it up on the screen what the first reward is supposed to be. So yeah, that's exciting. I have made some progress. I think this week has still been like very hectic, very busy. A lot of things going on, but it's nice to be able to talk about and feel that I'm making progress, even when life feels just all over the place. So that is all the goals updates I have for this week. So without further ado, let's jump into the money. All right, let's jump into it. So I actually didn't plan this out, so hopefully I can remember what I want to do with this money. All right, so first, I'm gonna come here, and so I have this target a little bit wrong, and so it was a few dollars short for this month. So we're just gonna go ahead and cover that. Okay, then we are going to throw some money in here to finish paying for the mic and tripod you just saw. All right. And then that leaves us with $23. I'm going to come back to that for right now. Let's see where we are with some of this stuff. So, I could fund Christmas. The order doesn't really matter because really a lot of these are just sinking funds and extra debt payments. So, it really doesn't matter when in the month I do them. I guess I will go ahead and do 50 towards my Roth and do that over in the morning. All right, so we have another 50. Let's do some of these are coming from my main job, so I'm ignoring them. Let's do, we're gonna do 50 here. Okay. And then this remaining $23. So I was supposed to do something with this and I can't remember what. Like, I really don't know. So I guess for right now, I'm gonna put it towards the wedding, and if I need to move it around, I'll do that later. Okay. And then, like I said a little bit earlier, I'm supposed to go out on Saturday, and my eating out category is a little low. So I don't think I spend $42, but we're going to like a sit down restaurant, so I'm not really sure. So what I'm gonna do, because this week I did get gas, but I obviously forgot to add it. So I only spent $25, and I have $25 left. And I usually Sunday will start a new week, so I don't need gas again. It's Friday. I definitely won't need gas again before Sunday. So I'm gonna go ahead and move what I didn't spend into my eating out category to beat that up a little bit for Saturday. Go ahead and snooze this, and I will go at transaction off camera. Um, it's another good reason that I filmed this right now, because I did not even know that I did not do that. So when I went back to watch the clip, I realized that I made some changes in my budget that I was supposed to talk about, and I just forgot. So that's the importance of having like some brief notes, so you remember things you're supposed to mention. So I'm not going to talk about them tonight because it's late, and they're really not relevant right now. So next week, when you see me, I will talk about some of those new categories and targets I have. There are a lot of fun things happening this year that I'm excited about that are coming up. So I look forward to that. So yeah, I'm gonna charge these mics. I'm excited to see if they actually work. I was a little bit worried that this company was kind of scary, but the internet said it was a real company. The products did arrive. Now let's see if they work. Bye. If I owned a steamer, I would be the type of person to steam my pajamas, because even though I'm going to bed, I don't really like the idea of looking disheveled. So every time I film a video, one at night and two without notes, it ends up being chaotic. And when I went back and watched the March week 2 budget with me, there were so many things that I was like, I just did not really talk about. Like, I shared with you guys that I read 2 books. I didn't say what those books were. I didn't give my rating like previous videos. Just no thoughts whatsoever. So, to make up for that, I have notes tonight, and I am going to revisit those books. So, if you haven't watched my last video, go check it out. I was updating some of my March goals. One of them is to read 3 books, and I have read 2 so far in March. And the first book I read to get me out of like this reading slump I was kind of in is actually the second in a series. So the first book I read in the series I shared with you guys was Secret to a Southern Wedding. This second book is called About or Waiting on Friday Night, something like that. I don't know. But it was just it's a really good, easy read, like kind of predictable, but just kind of still fun to get wrapped up in the characters and story. Like, I devoured it in 2 days. It's really good. It was really what I needed to get me out of this funk. And so, Waiting on Friday night. I think I gave it like 4.5 stars. I really liked it. I liked it better than the first book in the series. So I'm on a wait list to only be for the third book in the series, third and final book. So yeah, that sucks. But getting out of my reading slump allowed me to finish a book I had started at the end of February. I only read like a couple pages of it at the end of February, and I was able to get through it this time. So it was a more serious read, nonfiction book. I do not have the bandwidth to give a very intellectual review of it at this current juncture. Um, but it is called This Will Be My Undoing by Morgan Jenkins, I believe. And it was a good read. He's a really good writer. But there were a lot of parts of the book that were a little bit too graphic for my taste, I'll say. And they didn't feel out of place, but just kind of like not what I was expecting. So I gave it 3 stars. So a lot of thought provoking stuff in there for sure. Fun fact, I guess, about me is in undergrad, I double majored in sociology and African American studies. And so I really enjoy reading about people and specifically like studying and reading about Black people, Black families, and Black women, and sometimes the intersection of that, if I can get my hands on it, is really interesting to me. And so that's why this book kind of stood out to me. And so definitely check it out. Like I said, there's definitely a lot of thought provoking stuff in there, but be warned, there's some very graphic stuff in there. And that is what I will say. Enough about that. So, also, if anybody has any recommendations for book tracking apps that are not good reads. So I was trying out Margins at first and it was going fine, but then they didn't have About Friday Night in their library, but they had 627 Wedding. So how you don't have the second book in the series? Like, it just didn't exist on the app for me to include in the tracker. And so it was making it look like I read less books than I actually had for the year, which I didn't like. So then someone suggested Book Mori to me, which I'm still playing around with it. I have not formed an opinion on it, but I do like the layout of it. So when you finish a book, you can kind of see it in a calendar view. And I'll throw up a screenshot right here, which I think is like really cute. And for my tracking purposes and needs, it helps motivate me to. I just think it's cute to like see the books on the days that you finish them. I think it's cute. So those are the 2 books and my ratings. And like I said in my last video, I have not yet hit my March goal, but I have hit my first yearly book milestone, and that's exciting. So March is trucking along, so I am accomplishing more of my goals than I thought I would. I am surviving, even though I felt like I was being dragged by my hair the first couple of weeks. And it's just crazy to think that we are like halfway through March already. Like next week I get paid like for my full-time job. And when that happens, like I don't think it's real because that means the month is over. And it's just crazy to think that that's next week. I'm filming this one on when it's Tuesday. It's Tuesday. Almost Wednesday. But yeah, so like we're halfway through this third week of March already, and it's crazy. All right, my next goal was punctuality. So I said I was going to track it, then I said I wasn't going to track it. Then I guess because I am a glutton for punishment, I was like, why not track it? So drum roll, please. There have been 10, 11, wait, let me count. Technically 12 business/working days as of me filming this video. And out of those 12 days, I have been punctual this many times. I was supposed to add it up before I filmed and I forgot. So it's this many times. Whatever's on the screen right now. If it's less than you thought, I'm glad you have such high expectations of me, high thoughts. March has been a rough one. It's been a rough one, but we're surviving. That's all that matters. I probably will stop tracking this because it's just life. Life is life. So that's where we're at with that. Like, I've even been late a couple days, which is shocking because it's not usual. But it's just like the weather, it gets warm, it gets cold again, and then work is stressful and just like I'm ready for like real spring consistency, a better work schedule. If I can get my hands on it, it's really what I'm working on in secret, but we'll see what happens. So that is that. And speaking about March ending, I am like gearing up for doing like a thinking about rethinking some of my like financial goals as I plan for like a quarter 1 recap video of like my spending, my debt pay down, and where I'm at my goals so far, all in one video. I know I talk about it like week to week, but have it all in a central place to reflect on. So as I gear up to prepare for that, I was thinking about like, am I okay with the progress I'm making? If I make changes to some of my goals, how will that affect other aspects of my life? So things of that nature that I've just been thinking about lately as March just runs away from my soul. Yeah, yeah. And April is gonna be a doozy, guys, because it's gonna be a lot of prep for May, which there's a lot going on in May. Like, I got invited to a wedding and 2 baby showers. They're all happening on the same day. Of course, I'm only going to one of those events, which is the wedding, as you guys know, because it's out of town. But gifts have to be given to all these people, and my younger brother is actually graduating from his master's program in May. Yeah, so might be going to graduation and then graduation celebrations. Stuff is happening. Stuff is happening. Yeah. So that is all the yapping. So let's get to what you're really here for, and that is the numbers. And this literally took me 10 minutes on the dot. Crazy. Let's jump into it. Also, I am really proud of myself because this month I have not been overspent on groceries at all. And in fact, I went grocery shopping today and I was under budget. I'm just, I don't know. I actually had a list. So that is the real reason for that. Okay, before we jump into budgeting my paycheck, in the last video, there were some new categories. You probably didn't notice because I didn't have a lot to budget. I just threw some money around. But I figured I'd actually talk about them in this video because I forgot. So like I said, most of these are the same. This holding category is for the new checking account I opened to get the bank account bonus because I didn't want to zero it out when I'm transferring money back and forth between it. So I'm just going to leave a couple dollars in there when I make my transfers. And I didn't want to assign it to a category and accidentally spend it. So I made a holding category for that. My friends from out of town are planning to come visit in June, and we'll probably be going out quite a bit. So I want to prepare in advance, and I have to pull from other categories when they come. I want it to be their own separate thing. So that's what Queen's Weekend is. I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be fun. And yeah, this is just a category that I'm saving up to gift somebody with some funds towards the end of the year. I think that's it. Yeah. So just a quick breakdown because I do not want to chat you guys' heads off. So let's look at where we are. All right. So most of these things are coming from my full-time job. So okay, we have $430. So actually, I need to add a new category, guys. So if you watched my last video, I mentioned that I had to go out on a work trip and I had to use my own funds. In that video, I just assigned it to eating out because it was a restaurant, but This next work trip is not a restaurant, and if it was something I was doing like on my own personally, it would be categorized under fun money. But this is like for work, and if I wasn't doing it for work, I probably wouldn't be doing it anytime soon. So I don't know. So my boyfriend's like, you should make a work category, even though I really don't like going out on these work trips or outings, where I don't really plan to do them frequently. An emoji. Oops. It's weird because this is a separate thing. Some of my categories are in alphabetical order, others are not. Like this one is mostly in, but then like the topic, I don't know. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. So we're gonna throw $30 in there, and I hope it's enough. And then let's go back to underfunded, and let's open up our savings stuff. Okay. So with the $300 that I've already budgeted, I think I'm gonna finish funding course savings. I am going to fund this snowball payment. Okay, I have $105 left. I'm gonna clear out this one since it's just a wee bit over. Okay, so now we have 96 extra dollars left. I think what I want to do with this, so a lot of this is coming from other sources. Let's these two. I think I want to fund this one because this one is a reward category for myself, and so that's likely to happen. This financial social work, this is just something that I would like to get done this year, but it's not as important to me right now. Some of these other categories, so I'm not going to mess with it. And then with this last little bit of money, I am actually going to throw it towards this because I got my dress, I got my shoes, but there's still a couple accessories that I want to get that are going to cost me quite more than $32. So my last check in March, all the extra money I get will probably go towards this category. Anything that I make above like the budgeted $300. So we shall see. And again, I get a double paycheck next week, so whatever's left over after I finish funding these will probably go towards that wedding fit category, so I can get the last few items I need, and then the wedding will pretty much be done, except funding, I think just funding the categories one more time in April and actually getting there and having a good time. All right, it's time for me to call it a night. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, please subscribe, like it, share it, do all the things, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.